Hey everyone, this is Zachary Comeau, Executive Editor of CE Pro. Today I'm joined by Jason Winchester, the new Senior Vice President and Chief Product Officer of EDI Snap One. Jason, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's great to be here. Thanks.
All right, so yeah, CEDIA is quickly approaching, and just in a couple of short weeks. What are we going to see at the EDI Snap One booth?
Yeah, good question. I mean, CEDIA is such a huge deal for our business, and so we always focus on elevating our messaging and really focusing on what's our seamless ecosystem story. So that'll be pervasive throughout the booth, and a lot of the tours that we give, a lot of the training that we give, and it's really elevating above an individual product, and it's more, how do we think about ecosystems? How do we think about delivering complete projects? That's number one. And number two, I think we're really focused on how we can enable our customers to deliver more profitable projects. So we certainly, we invest a ton in innovation through our products, and we'll talk a little bit about that today, I'm sure. But also project design's been a big focus for us, and how we think about just elevating customer satisfaction as well. We've done a lot to enable recurring monthly revenue, if our customers choose to go down that path. So that'll be another key theme. And I think, last is, as we've brought the two companies together, a big focus on being even better together. We have 20 categories. We have, 24 brands on the exclusive brand side. We'll have a healthy showing of our own exclusive brand products and, strategic third-party brands as well. And so we have everything from complex networking solutions to multi-site surveillance to very rich high-end home theater. So those will be some of the key messages for us.
Yeah. So what will we actually physically see when we walk into the booth? We're talking, demos. How would the booth kind of be laid out? I know previously you just had very clearly defined zones for different categories. What are we going to be looking at?
Yeah, it'll be very clearly defined. We're always very keen to bring in our product experts. So like one of the first and foremost things is we bring a ton of subject matter expertise. We have sales engineers on the floor. We have product marketing teams. We have product managers. And so we always bring a lot of expertise to make sure that we can deliver the right messaging. And you're right, Zach, it's going to be very similar. It's going to be sectioned based on experience and brand and things like that. So, we'll have dedicated sections for Control4, for Wattbox, oversee access networks. So we'll see quite a bit of that. I think there's also other very important third-party brands that we'll be displaying, some strategic ones like Sony, Sonos, Klipsch, Kwikset, things like that. And I think it'll be experience. It'll be defined by experience. So Control will have its own section, distributed audio will have another, etc.
Great. Yeah, I know last year the merger with ADI was kind of the story. Now that we're a little bit past that, is there a theme for you guys at CEDIA this year?
Yeah, there's a theme for sure. I would say there's a strategic theme that we have as part of our vision statement and our pillars for the company, and the word is indispensability. And that indispensability is pervasive across customers, across vendors, and across end customers, as we look at the experiences we deliver through the professional. So I think that'll be a key theme. And, so it's really indispensability by allowing customers to stay ahead with innovation. We've invested a lot in reliability. So we've done a lot with automated testing and things like that. Integration across categories, that's always a huge one for us. Control4 interoperability is super strategic. So that'll be, another area that we'll focus on how we can make installs better. And I think, outside of the products, it's continuing to drive value through the services that we provide to our customers. And I mentioned before, training's a huge one, allowing for better insights, better customer support, things like that. So those will be kind of the key things. But indispensability, I would say, is the singular word that I would say is the theme for this year.
Right. Yeah. How do you see the booth help help customers better understand what you guys provide?
Yeah. So we have you mentioned demos. Product demos are a huge part of that. One of the, we have demos that are strategically placed so that if we have customers who are walking past the booth, but they're not coming into the booth, but they can see products on the outside as a natural extension of how that booth layout is. And so demonstrations are really, really important. I think, as we look at that demonstration, that could be both, we have overseas demonstrations. Obviously, we'll be displaying our new Control4 user interface and things like that. And I think as we do that, we really want to help customers to understand that we are there for them. We feel like an extension of their businesses, and we want to make sure that we're enabling them to be as successful as possible.
Yeah, I think you mentioned Control4 X4. So let's talk a little bit about that and other products that folks aren't going to want to miss at your booth.
Yeah, 100%. So just the way that I'll talk quite a bit about the exclusive brands. We have other third-party brands that we've launched throughout the year as part of our overall business focus, but I'm very much focusing on exclusive brands as I answer that question. So we launch 500 new products every year. There's, you look at our pipeline of projects, we have 150 projects at any given time. Our team is amazing at launching new products. One of those that's been really well received is we launched Control4 X4 in the Americas. And that was a much needed user interface refresh, but it allows for more personalization. We created widgets that allows for customization within the home screen. We moved away from a purely room-based architecture to a single screen for the site, whether it's a home or a business. And we enabled personalized routines that can be programmed by the professional or it can be programmed by the end customer. So that's been really, really well received so far. And we're just getting started. There's a whole host of things that we'll be continuing to iterate on, but that's been a good launch for us so far.
Great. In the way of other products, anything else that you want to highlight that folks should definitely check out?
Yeah, there's a couple. So I think a few others that I would love for people to see in person. The next one is Lux by Control4. It is one of the most elegant, high, aesthetically appealing products that you can put on a wall. As you look at the collection of keypads, dimmers, the capability you have to have keypad engraving, customization of zone control, it's pretty amazing. We are following, an interactive device architecture, if you will. So there's a lot of things that we're developing into the design of this products that will kind of become more pervasive throughout our other interactive devices. But, the expanded range for Lux allows us to, enhance the experience for lighting designers, interior designers, architects, and, the personalization of it is incredible. And it's the tactile feel, the way that we have color variations and metal faceplates, I think will be extremely well received. So that's the first one. More on the resi-commercial or the business side, Episode Business Music, which is an all-in-one offering for business installations. It's very much focused on driving audio within the SMB space, and it gives, it's easy to deploy. It allows for scalable solutions that includes wall controls. There's DSPs and things like that really allows for the complete site to be managed through one ecosystem. And that allows for multiple user types, whether it's, someone who's working at the reception desk, or if it's someone who's working in the back of the business, things like that. Another product that's been very well received is our SunBrite Solis launch. This has been a long time coming for us to completely refresh our SunBrite product offering. And I think we nailed it with the feature set. So it's a full 4K outdoor TV. The brightness on it is the highest that we've ever had. We have smart functionality that's been included along with the weather durability that SunBrite always has. And we've been very careful to make sure that it's priced at the right position. So that's another one that I would just suggest that folks come see. And then lastly would be Episode Extreme speakers. These were made to live in the harshest outdoor environments. For years, we've had installations that occur at the beach or occur in marine applications. And these are very, very extreme weather resistant, highly capable products that deliver on audio quality and long-term durability. So those would be the big ones that I would focus on in the booth.
Excellent. Yeah, how do these products especially the ones you mentioned, reflect the company's approach to innovation?
Yeah. So for us, innovation, it actually starts with listening. And so for those that have been in our booth in years past, like you would see, we would always be in the booth with, pencils and notepads taking notes as we talk to customers. And we have a real customer obsession when it comes to driving value, driving feature enhancement, what are the new products that we should be coming out with. So I think listening to our customers and what's their sense of their customers' needs. I think our process is pretty robust. We spend a lot of time looking at customer feedback, net promoter score, things like that to inform our roadmaps. And we have product roadmaps that go out multiple years to help drive the business. And I think one of the other things is innovation doesn't necessarily have to come through feature appreciation or things like that. We're very much focused on how do we make the life of the installer easier? How do we reduce the labor costs associated with installing products? And how do we keep end of sale support or after sale support really, really low? So that's the way we focus on innovation.
Great. Yeah, and when we mentioned a little bit with episode business music, but how is the line between residential and commercial changing? I know we like to throw around the word resi-commercial, which this is my favorite word. This is kind of an awkward word, but
It is.
yeah. So how is this combination of those two markets evolving?
Yeah, the lines are definitely blurring. Where we used to talk about within, the residential space, we would talk to customers and say, are you doing commercial jobs? Yes or no. And it was kind of like a check in the box, right? But when we talk about when we talk with customers now, the question is what percentage of your jobs are commercial jobs? Because the lines are certainly blurring. And as we look at some of the ways that we've developed product, I'll bring up an example like MOIP. We're seeing, MOIP is becoming way more common, media over IP, way more common in commercial spaces than residential. And, just because of the demands in Buffalo Wild Wings, you pick your pick. And so we're seeing the lines blur quite a bit. I think the good news is our development is always focused on commercial grade technology. And it just happened to wind up in luxury homes. So we feel like we're prepared to help our customers to take advantage of that blurring, if you will.
I feel like one of the best examples of that is probably networking. I mean these gigantic, beautiful homes
Totally.
that these dealers are working in are essentially small businesses in terms of networking needs.
I would agree with you. And that's even why, we acquired Access Networks years ago, like very much, up to enterprise grade level product going into commercial applications, but like their own networking design service is so incredibly valuable in businesses, but also in very, upscale large homes as well, that outside of having that design service, you run the risk of an inadequate experience, I guess I would say.
Great. Yeah. What about trainings? What trainings will be offered at CEDIA?
Yeah, so we'll be giving trainings as we always do. They, largely focus on new product launches, some of the new tools that we have. So we have rooms blocked off for that. So feel free to look at the schedule to the customers out there as we get closer to CEDIA. But we will be doing many trainings just to get our new product information out there, and also to seek to understand as we talk to customers.
So, what does success at CEDIA look like to you guys?
Yeah, I think for us, it's building confidence, right? So when we see customers that leave our booth and they feel confident to be able to talk about that new technology with their customers, they feel confident that they're going to have their technicians start to test it in their own labs, or they feel confident to start including it in proposals. I think that, and I think too, it's always helpful when you see customers who walk up to a section of the booth and they get it, right? So there was an experience I had at a recent show where you could see a customer was walking up and they were a little hesitant on what the messaging was, but then they stood there for a 30-second demonstration and they got it. And so just experiences like that are certainly help us to feel like we're, driving the right messaging. But then also, I always ask my team, come back with a host of customer feedback that we can action on. And so that's, I'd say, a second thing that really helps us to feel like we're successful with our residential customers as we come away from CEDIA.
Right. Yeah, this is a question I like to ask on manufacturers. While I'm walking around the show floor, but what excites you the most about CEDIA?
Yeah, I mean, I think, for the business, CEDIA is like the Super Bowl, right? Like just the energy of it, the conversations that can occur there, the focus on it. We really focus on getting the right messaging and even delivering products right around the show so that we have fresh things to show our customers. And so, I think that's what I'm most excited about. And then just hearing from customers, what are the things we're doing well, but most actionable, what are the things we need to improve on? I mean, I know it sounds kind of silly to say that that's exciting, but like, that's how we get better, honestly.
Right. So before I let you go, I got to ask you about the spinoff. So you guys merged, and then it was a very quick process here the last couple of years for you folks in the business office. Can you share any updates about that, and maybe just explain it a little bit?
Yeah. So I think yes. So I think it's well timed for sure. We've gone through a year of successful integration with, two businesses becoming one. And I think we're well down the path there. And I think too, as we head into strategic planning, for the next few years, spinning off will really help us to have a much sharper focused, be a bit more flexible and nimble on opportunities that are really, near term. And I think, there's going to be investment opportunities that pop up that wouldn't necessarily be possible if we were, still combined with Residio. So we see a pretty bright future for the spinoff, and I think there's a lot of opportunity ahead for sure.
Very good. All right, Jason, I think that does it for me. Anything else you want to say before you go?
No, but I very much appreciate your time, Zach. Thanks for all the customers out there that have used our products and that will be visiting the booth. I look forward to seeing everyone in a couple weeks.
Great. All right. Thanks. Take care.